What is good, y'all? SGG Game, man. It's your boy Smooth Got Game back with year 2 of the Angels, man. And we had a great-ish spring, I should say, because it wasn't too good for wins and losses, but great for information gathering, right? We ended up finishing off the spring here 12-15. Losing our last three of our last 7. So kind of a close streak, but we were mixing up the lineups a lot. Mixing up our starting rotation. And I think we got a lot of good information on guys that we want to stay up here. We actually had some pretty tough calls to make as far as guys to send down and up. As we go check out some of the stats, you can see who some of the guys were leading the team in a lot of these areas. I mean, Mike Trout, of course, is going to be a beast, but Trey Lipscomb actually was up here with 23 hits, batted .354, 2 home runs throughout the spring. At 25 years old and a C potential prospect, might be someone we can have our eyes on for the future. He's got only one of his 3 options used. He still has about 5 years of team control after this year. So he could be somebody great that we look at. Henry Piera had a fantastic spring, 4 home runs, taking the long ball away. I mean, his last 10, he did struggle, only batting .226. But had a great spring all the way around. Him, Matt Shaw, I was very impressed with those two, and Nolan, with what they were able to do throughout the spring. Joe Adele even had a good average, back 273. I had several guys hitting over 300, a couple guys over 400 on base. Trey Lipscomb, you see there near the top yet again. And it really kind of made fitting this 26-man roster kind of hard, because there were so many guys that I didn't know if I wanted to send them down or not, waste another option or not. So now the guys obviously with options are easier to send down than the guys that don't, because you don't want to lose guys to waivers. But it definitely made the lineup hard. The pitching rotation was a lot more easier. You see there's a big difference between guys that were walking a lot and not producing, like Ben Joyce, Samuel Algergary, Dakota Hudson. There's guys that are drawing a lot of walks, giving up a lot of runs, a lot of home runs, as we'll look here in a second. And this was kind of way easier to decide which pitchers I wanted to go down. It was more or less just kind of making it fit between the hitters, seeing how many pitchers would actually stay up here. So which ones we would kind of give the leeway to and kind of overall cap everything off. You see Walker Buehler, 7 home runs given up, even more than 3 rookies, which I'll give it 4, surprise, surprise, but 7. 23 earned runs, and he was the one that begged to come over this way. Yeah, he's going to see AAA for a little bit. As we go to make these roster cuts position by position, right field is solid, and center field we're sending down here SG Ruiz, as his average was kind of on the lower side. We're only going to keep 5 outfielders, so that was Taylor and Henry getting that last spot as a rookie. In the infield, I'm sending down Kyron Paris down to AAA, and Enrique Hernandez, Trey Lipscomb. It came down between those two. Lipscomb at least had an option to use, so I sent him down because I do like what Matt Shaw did in spring, batting .313. And then Hernandez, I mean, he only batted .229, but he had no more options left, and we just signed him, so I feel like it's almost a waste of money. I tried to send him down, but apparently he has to be designated for assignment with at least 5 years. He has to consent, I guess, to go down. So I didn't know what designated for assignment meant for right now, so I kind of left it alone and kind of moved on. And then I saw the same thing here for Dylan Moore, who we brought in as position flexibility, but the bat was way too weak to sit on the bench, and he needed the same thing. So, I'm looking at our other options here. Obviously, we're not going to send Kyle Farmer down. I need somebody to play first as a primary position. So I go back to him, go to the designate for assignment, and basically how it works is you have 7 days to make a decision on where you're going to move them, if you're going to trade or release them, or whatnot. So that's what I ended up doing here. I ended up designating both for assignment. You see here, if they clear out white waivers, then they'll just go down to AAA, but they can also be picked up if they get, claimed, just like normal waivers. So basically, it's almost like waiving them, except I guess it gives you 7 days to decide what you want to do. So that's what I ended up doing for both. I ended up designating for assignment Hernandez and Taylor here, and then I just ended up sending both of them down to AAA, where they could possibly come back up to the major level if one of our 2 young guys start to struggle. We have position flexibility with Moore playing more positions, Moore playing more positions, or Enrique just being a straight up third baseman and being a little bit better. So we go to waive both of those 2. We're leaving both Kyle Farmer and Nolan here at first base. Catchers, we got 2, which I like to keep up here at all times. And then at pitcher, we're not doing anything with the closers. We got 3 of them straight up lined up. Relief pitching, though, we do have to move down at least a couple of these. So Ben Joyce with this 5.4 ERA, he's going to go down to AAA. We're also going to move down, who else here? Want to move down Bachman. Sam Bachman, I just didn't feel like it was his time just yet. We're moving him down. So only 2 relievers going down As far as starters go, we're going to go ahead and move down Jordan Hicks, who did not have a good job long relieving. Walker Buehler, of course, with them home runs. Our rookies, of course, they're not ready yet for prime time, so we definitely will be moving them down and designating Walker for assignment too. So same path here with him going outright to AAA. But moving our rookie down, they just weren't ready just yet. I mean, they're close, low upper 60s. Maybe when they get into low 70s, we try bringing them back up if the rotation starts to struggle, or maybe roll in the long relief area. So George will go down. Caden Dana will go down too as well. Oh, well, 3.24 ERA, 1.2 WHIP. I mean, we only have to send one more guy down, it looks like, based off numbers here. So yeah, let's actually keep him up here and go Samuel down too as well. So Caden Dana will be making what could be his rookie debut up here at the major league level, and this is what the lineup will look like. So different versus righties and lefties, we have different guys that hit them better. So Lewis, Nolan at the top there against righties, Lewis and Zach at the top against lefties, but Henry, Mike, Joe Adele, Jorge Soler, they'll pretty much be our 3 through 6, and then rounding it off with some of our lower contact guys, but guys that should still be able to get on base. And we kind of set up all the lineups for AA, AAA. We got, of course, our AA prospects here that we just drafted: Dave Stewart, Alex Campos, and Douglas Ellison, all 3 in the starting lineup. So we'll definitely be focusing in on our starter arms, seeing how good they do in their first year down at AA, and if any of them can make the rise up to AAA through a great season. We also have Cecil Kendrick in the bullpen. We'll have to see how good he does. AAA, there's definitely room for them to come up as long as they play good. As you see, the bullpen is kind of loose right now, and George Klassen is really the only person I have my eyes on out of all those guys. And then our rotation up here, UC, Aaron Cleve, which we just signed, Reed Detmers, Dakota Hudson coming up, and Hunter Barco, a Rule 5 pickup that we got. Caden Dana will be a long reliever. Chase Salee, Brock Burke, Jose Hernandez, Hannah Kraus, Jose Cojala, Victor Gonzalez, and our new closer, Jordan Romano. So the team is all the way set up. Wanted to look quickly before we jump into game 1 of the season, because you know we're going to have some gameplay today. Want to look at our top prospects as they give Henry number 2 still, Sergio Serena Ruiz from the Pirates. It looks as the best prospect, probably because his overall is just slightly higher, but they have him down at single A, it looks like. We'll have to see if we see him make his jump up to the majors. The only person up here at the majors is a closer, and Britt Burke with the Nationals. Only top 10 player that is actually coming up. Douglas Ellison there is at the 6th spot, and then we really only have those 2 in the top 10. And really, I'm trying to scroll back just to see how many we have here in the top 100. Our next one doesn't come till Dave Stewart at 51, so that's 3. So we keep going down. I think that's our only 3, just those 3 guys. So 2, fourth one here, Alex Campos barely makes it at 99. So our top 4 players are all in the top 100. And then there's Caden Dana, who's at the major league level, Christian Moore, George Glasson, but a lot of starting pitchers are our top prospects. So this year's draft, I think we focus more on finding those position player talents to fill up our farm system, because we have Henry, who just luckily balled out and turned into a starter immediately, so he doesn't even get to work in the farm system. And he doesn't he does actually count as our PPI. So we get an extra draft pick if any of these guys, I think it's if they win Rookie of the Year. So eyes on Caden Dana and Henry Piera, but there's also still Dave Stewart, Doug Ellis. I mean, if any of them happen to somehow be good enough, Alex Campos, to come up to the majors and with enough time to actually win Rookie of the Year, we can see ourselves getting a draft pick for any of these picks here. So only the season will tell, and the best way to know the answers is to jump into it. Year 2 getting kicked off here, and I don't even know where the stadium's at. We're just going to call it Oakland as we're playing the Athletics yet again. We've seen them already once before, but they got him going against opening day against them, so why not see him again? As this year will still go by pretty fast. We'll still want to get through the season pretty fast, but now we'll actually have a bigger reason to focus on the minors. So expect more of the episodes to be consistent of the minors if we're not checking in on like Henry, Caden, really kind of mainly those 2 there, seeing more of our young guys through the lineup, but we probably will have a bigger emphasis down at the AA level, if anything, not so much AAA. But expect to see some AA games, maybe even some AA full games. Let me know if you guys want to see that down below in the comment section. And as we go ahead and jump here into the game, we'll be facing off against Osvaldo Beto. Last year, pretty shaky year, 4.37 ERA, 18% strikeout rate, 10% walk rate. So both of those, at least I think those are, well, I think the strikeout rate is for sure low. I think you want to be in the 20s, and I think the walk rate's I think you want to be under 10. But let me know. I'm not sure what the good average metrics for those numbers are. nowadays, because those stats weren't even around back when I was watching baseball. When I was majorly watching baseball and actually like locked into games, and I was actually watching the games and doing my homework while I was watching the game so I could see the full game in full. Actually wanted to go to baseball games in person, knowing the entire league and everybody on the roster, at least the major league roster and some of the big prospects. Yeah, back when I was doing that, those advanced metrics weren't there. Exit velo, ball angle trajectory, walk percentage, walk rate, strikeout percentage, FIP, ERC. Them numbers were not there. Now, that should outdate and tell you guys how far back it's been. I haven't watched MLB or been that locked in on it since 2000, I want to say 12, since I entered high school. And when I started just playing more sports full time, I got less and less time to watch all the sports together, and especially baseball with how long it is. So it kind of fell off, and I'm trying to get back into it. So down below, let me know who you guys' favorite teams are. My teams have never changed this. Hold on real quick. Look at the rookie there, projected to hit 305 in the 3 spot. If he does that with Mike Trout behind him, we might have a very strong 3-4-5. I mean, Soler's not great with his average, but he's good with his home runs. So we might have a really strong 3-4-5. And here goes the rookie for his first ever at-bat at the pros. Gets a cutter in on the hands and unfortunately timed it up well, but chopped it right to the second baseman. So his first at-bat will be a 1-pitch ground out. And that'll bring up our ace 2 years in a row. You see Kikuchi, which is something you don't really see too often here with these rebuilds. A lot of times there's a lot of roster movement and trades happening, so you don't see really the same ace back to back until you kind of get established. But he was too good to let go. And this team is not dumpster juice. It's not sell all our old good players and start fresh. It's some of these good old players can be the bandage pieces that we need to just fill in young guys around and produce. And I think that's what the approach I'm going to take. So basically my untouchables would be probably like him and Mike Trout right now. Everybody else is fair game. That's not a young prospect. So and when I say young, I mean 25 or younger and B potential or higher. But everybody else, fair game. If you got C potential, sorry, you might get traded. If you're older than 25, you're 28, 29, sorry, you might get traded. Jorge Soler, sorry, you might get traded. If you have another season like last year, you might get traded at the deadline. I don't know. Make some more room for some other guys to kind of come up and we'll utilize their bats instead. But definitely a team that should see more wins than we did last year. But yeah, back to like what I was saying. Let me know down below, who is you guys' favorite Major League Baseball team? If you guys don't already know, mine is the New York Yankees. Yes, I've been a Yankee fan since I was little, though. Since I started watching baseball, started playing baseball at 5 years old. So don't call me no bandwagon. I've been it since the early 2000s, 1990s. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been a Yankees fan since I started watching baseball. Just the team I picked, right? So it is what it is. Just don't be mad that your team is not better than mine. And I don't even know if I'll ever be able to get to do a rebuild with my favorite team because they're always so good. Now, just best believe, though, the second they finish in the bottom half of the league, I'm jumping on that team immediately. As we're going to get the strikeout there by UC. Ending his inning down after giving up a hit there. So pretty clean throughout the first. As we go back to our bats here, I wanted to highlight at least the first at-bats of the year for each guy and kind of outline what we expect to see from him. Mike Trout, if he can give us another MVP-type season, I'll take it. Jorge Soler, I would love to see his average come up just slightly. At least give me 270 if you can as he gets our first base hit of the season. So we talk about that average coming up. And if he can give me another 20 to 30 home run season, I will take that. Definitely have him just DHing, not in the field here as we get Logan Hop to go to ground into a double play. Throw goes over, and they got him. What I'm expecting out of him is another good season he had last year. Just continue his development and get closer to about like a 280 average. Not really going to see too much power coming from him. As we go through the rest of the lineup here, Zach Neto. Of course, we want to see at least about 10 to 15, but we really want to see his defense get better. I mean, the average can go up too, but I want to see less errors from him at short. Matt Shaw, we really want to see him improve off of the short time he had at the majors last year. Ended on kind of a cold streak. He was at a 300 average when we got him, finished around 270. But if he can stay within that range right there, 270 to 300, that's exactly perfect for me. And then Joe, please get your average above at least 220. I am tired of seeing Joe Adele, who should be one of our best prospects probably, and he's just hitting 220. He's hitting for home runs. He's clutch a lot of times, and he's got the speed to be in the center field, but that average is just so low. Now, as we go to jump back into the game here, we do want to still focus in on it. Luis Refringo getting a hit here for us. Our second hit of the game here in the fourth inning. As he'll be over at first base, ball getting away from the catcher there, not able to do much with it. Nolan at the plate. 0 for 1 on the day, lines that four-seamer upstairs, going deep back into left field, and it'll be gloved in. And we're going to have to get back with Refringo, but that throw is not going to come in place. And it's back up for the rookie. I like his stance, too. You know, he's got his hands positioned in a good position. He's standing kind of straight up, not hunched over. It's a good batter's box here. I can see upper and lower parts of the zone with the camera angle that we have. So I think it's going to be really fun to hit with them. Hitting ratings all in the 70s pretty much, with the vision at 66, as that one is a ground ball getting into a double play there. I think we'll have a fun time hitting with him. Not so fun today with being 0 for 2, but I can see it getting better. As we go back over to our pitching here, you see been shutting down the Athletics lineup here today as they faces off against Tellez. 1-2 pitch upstairs, gets popped straight up. Top will go and remove the mask set underneath. And look down below. The stolen, I don't know if y'all caught that. The stolen base leaders, they had Esteury Ruiz as the third listed, even though he's at AAA. Even though he's at AAA, they think that they have him projected to be third most stolen bases of the season. Even if he was at the major level, he would have been coming off the bench. He was not going to be a starter. So I don't know where they got that from. I'm not going to lie. I feel pretty good about our outfit. We have a young rookie phenom, who should be a top prospect. We have another young solid player that should be able to elevate with a high ceiling in Joe Adele, and then we have a former MVP. Like, our outfield actually is very, very solid. The only spot that we look to be upgraded would be center field. So now I think it's time we get our infield in order. We get ourselves straight at first, second, third, and shortstop. Like, all the positions are up for grabs. We do have young, good players at each spot, but I need to know who's going to take over the role. Because that's the one thing with this game is everybody can develop differently. B potential and A potential are one thing, but can you live up to it is another. As this ball is going to go ahead and get away from the catcher, Hop's going to go pick it up as we get the strikeout. Throw down will be well late, though, as we got to go ahead and jump back into this action. Bottom of the fourth after the wild pitch, Zach Geoff up at the plate now, over 1. I'm starting to learn some of the players' names. 2-2 count here as he swings through the circle change off the edge, getting him down. They had runners at second and third. That could have been disastrous, but so far through 4 innings, no runs given up by either side. 4 hits for them, while we've only got 2. We've also walked one of theirs. They haven't walked any of ours. So maybe it's time we start running up this pitch count as Osvaldo. As we're in the 5th inning here, so through 4 innings, he's only thrown about 34 pitches. Got a little bit of a shift going here for Mike Trout, which I thought they eliminated the ability to do the shift, but maybe not. But it's not like it matters. Shift back into the stands if you want to, as that ball is out of here. 485 feet, as that one almost cleared the building. Deep out to center field. Mike Trout, starting off of a 40 home run season last year, gets another home run here on opening day to give his team the lead. Can we see back-to-back 40 years at age 34? I do believe he's 34, 35, one of them. And we're going to continue this 5th inning off here. 2 outs after his solo home run, as the outs kind of piled up after that. Beto trying to get out of this inning, but we're going to get a slider in on the hands for a base hit in center field. I think I just said Neto. We're going to say Neto. Neto over there at first base. Matt Shaw at the plate now as he lines this one. That's going to go ahead and get down over into the gap. It's going to hit up against the wall. We're going to go ahead and go to second base. Neto's going around third. We will just go ahead and hold him up there. Not going to force it. I think he would have been out by a mile had we had him keep going home. So now we have our own second and third situation. Joe Adele comes up. And now we just look for him to be just a little bit clutch there. Swinging at the strike, taking the strike. And there he goes, being a little bit more patient, working this pitch count up a little higher. 53 pitches is all it takes to get through 5, though. Swings through the sinker down right at the hands. Mike Trout does give us the lead, though, as we are now up 1-0 with our first run across. And we have UC trying to go ahead and hold it down at that 1-0 lead. As this will be a fly ball out to Henry out in the left field. He will not be able to get there, so doesn't have the speed necessary to reach that one for us. I don't even know if I like the fact that he didn't reach up his glove. Daniel Susak, first extra base hit that I think we've seen here today, as he gets, or for them that we've seen here today. Getting a double here with no outs as Isaiah knocks this one on the ground. Neto throws this one over, as that one's going to be not handled correctly by Nolan at first. Go ahead and chalk that up to an error, as we just said that we wanted to see the defense get better for Zach. And now you see he's going to have to do this one on his own. Look at the confidence he's getting from his catcher. This one's going over to Refringo this time. Throw goes over to second for 1. Back over to first base, not in time. Still leaves the play possibility for a double play here as Brent Rooker will come up. And the first pitch is actually upstairs instead of down low in the zone. Trout's going to go and make this play. He'll come in firing the ball to the plate. Throw will come in. It's going to be up the line a little bit, but behind him by a mile. Just that quickly, they tie the ball game right back up. If we just had not had that error, we would have been out of the inning for sure with that one. We get the strikeout there on Tellez, though, just one batter too late. So now, of course, with the unearned run, though, the ball game is still tied. Taking things to the top of the sixth here, Luis Refringo facing off still against Beto here in the game. 53 pitches on his way through. Chops this one past the second baseman for a first hit. 2 for 3 on the day. Luis Refringo is definitely a fun hitter to hit with. I definitely feel very confident with his stance and where his strike zone is. As Nolan here, you see his is way more stretched as he stands more tall here at the batter's box. Wish it would just adjust it to get the same kind of look depending on how tall they were, but full count here for Nolan as he gets this one right back at the pitcher. It'll hit off his thigh. That's going to go back to the catcher. Throw will go down to first, not in time. But that was a hard line drive hit right back at the pitcher. Nolan really got all of that one. As they go check on their pitcher, he's down on one knee right now. Manager's coming out looking too. They're kind of getting a feel for him. Looks like he's able to get up and walk it off on his own, but looks like they're just going to go ahead and remove him. I don't know. It didn't pop up with an injury, but they might not be wanting to risk it here on opening day. I respect it, especially with a pretty good start here. I mean, 5 innings of work already. You just gave up another hit here just now and just got hit yourself. So why not just go ahead and turn things over to the bullpen? It'll be Michael Otanzi. Yeah, Michael Otanzi. Last year, he had 80 innings of work, a 7.3 ERA at 80 innings. I don't know how you even get that many innings with that high of an ERA. But he's going to face off against the Rook here. And what a better way to get your first hit would be in this situation. Runs our first and second, chops this one on the ground, and it will be a base hit. And it's going to go there and bring the runner around as Refringo's coming in as he slides in behind the catcher. His first hit is an RBI base hit off the reliever. Now you get a chance to say your first hit was against Michael or Tons. I don't know if that's too much to write home about, but at least the first hit was also an RBI to give your team the win or the lead. As we'll keep runners at first and second now, still no outs. And Mike Trout is back up at the plate, getting a four-seamer. Oh, that was a sinker upstairs. Taking this a long way back to right field in the warning track, and he stands on his tippy toes at the wall. They're going to bring that one in. That was probably about 2 more feet from a home run. One launch angle degree from a home run. As we're going to go ahead and steal off here as Henry does have speed. And we're going to take away the double play possibility here. Put runners at second and third with only 1 out. And now Sawyer just got to get me a sac fly. We can go up by 2 here. As that's exactly what we'll get here. Four-seamer off the opposite way, going towards the gap, and it'll be grabbed in. So we're going to go ahead and move both runners up as well. 90, did I say 92 speed? I almost forgot what Henry's speed was for a second. 92. How did he not get that ball and left earlier then? That is very high speed. Logan's going to come up next. And that ball's going to go ahead and get away. We're not going to risk coming home on that. Of course, he would have just walked over to the plate himself and tagged us. Coming back with the 1-2 pitch here. Gets a slider right down the middle, and he gets all of it. That ball is way out of here. Just underneath hitting the big scoreboard. But 435 feet for his first home run of the season. And now to go ahead and bring in 2 there as that 2-run home run makes it a 5-1 Angels lead. And they really look to go ahead and take care of this game here on opening day. And, of course, we're going to go back to our pitching here as we weren't able to get any more past that. But now it's just about maintaining this 4-run lead and getting out of here with the dub. As you see, gets a ball over to Refringo. Throw goes over as the defense is looking better already. At least from his side. He was up there in the top 2 in errors last year, too. So we definitely need better defense here up the middle. I don't know if that maybe is something we look for during scouting. You know, shortstops and second basemen that have great potential but good developed defense already, so that we just have to develop the bat. That could be an option here as we flop this one right over Refringo's head. So I got to actually check, what is Christian Moore's defense? Because I think his might be a similar build. Not really much defense, but better bat. So that's going to be a hit there for IKF. getting over at first base. We're actually going to go to the bullpen here as he was already starting to get tired. So you see, nice, strong 6 2/3 innings of work. We're going to go ahead and go to the bullpen and bring in a new arm that we actually just signed through the Rule 5 draft. A former arm, if you guys have watched my series before, who has done phenomenal jobs of killing the game, closing out games, and just being a clutch setup man for us and several other teams. As we have Jose Hernandez. Last year, only played 7 games, had 5 1/3 and 3.3 ERA. Through the spring, I think his ERA was in the 1 range. I think it was sub 2 ERA throughout the spring. So, very, very good reliever. And I trust him here in this situation. 2 down. We just need 1 final out here against Max as he grounds this one over to Nolan. Just taking it himself to first base. And I'll clear up the 7th and take us to the 8th inning. 3, 4, and 5 up for the Athletics here. Time is slowly but surely running out. It's Nolan. Camps underneath that one. Makes the play. Tellez gives Hop the same chance. He'll go ahead and pitch his tent. Camp out a little bit too. And enjoy the s'mores. And then Flores chops this on the ground. Refringo making the play. Easy throw over to first. So pretty routine. 1, 2, 3, 8th inning. And that'll bring us here to the 9th. So we obviously want to see if we can get some more extra runs here. As Logan trying to go for a 2-hit days. This one's out to right field. Great grab there by the right fielder, though. It's the second time he's made a play similar to that. As Zach will be up next. 1 for 3 on the day as well. As he takes that ball upstairs, swinging through it. Jumping ahead to the 1-2 pitch here as he lines this one down the first base line. That's going to get through. That's going to go back into the corner. We're going to go ahead and test it for 2. Throw's going to go ahead and come straight in past the cutoff man. The tag is not in time. It's a 1-out double for Zach Neto. 2-hit day for him. And can Matt Shaw have a 2-hit day as well as he chops this one on the ground up the middle? It's going to be a ground out, but a productive one. As now with 2 outs, it's going to be up to Joe Adell to get his first hit on the day to try to make it a 6-1 ball game. I really thought he might have got a hold of that one. I think the only thing holding him back, he's got great contact. He actually has really, really good power. Great clutch. You see 79 clutch, 96 power against lefties. The vision just at 48, I think, is the thing holding him back. So in his training, we do have him working on his vision to hopefully bring that number up into the 50s and 60s by the end of the year. It's what the ideal move would be. So go back to Hernandez here looking to close this one out. We only have a 4-run lead, so no reason to bring in our Jordan Romano yet. I do have an extra arm warming up just in case. It looks like they've been struggling against the lefties, though, here all day. So we definitely want to keep another lefty on deck if we can. They are not seeing things too well from this left side part of the plate. JJ Bleday, after the strikeout of his teammate, gets the 1-1 upstairs, and he'll swing through the 4-seam heat. Swings and misses at the slider low and away, and they're down to the last out here. Is Zach G off again. 0 for 3 on the day. The first pitch that he sees, chops this on the ground. Can Neto get there? He will. Throw over to first base, and the Angels walk out of here with the opening day victories on their mind, as this was a phenomenal game. I think you saw a lot to like. I mean, of course, the defense still flared up its ugly head there at least once, but I mean, at least it was just one time this game. The pitching looked great, though. Great start from UC. Great relief innings from Jose Hernandez to go ahead and close that one out. 2 1/3 innings, I think, of work in total. 11 hits as an offense, 5 runs across. Of course, we did have 2 home runs that led to that, but we did work our way to 2 of those runs. You know, getting sack flies, getting extra hits to go ahead and bring guys across us. We want to see more chained hits together to get everything done. So 11 hits, 3 of them coming from Luis Refringo, 2 from Zach Neto. Everybody else but Joe Adell had 1. Neto had a double. Shaw had a double. Of course, we did see the home runs and RBIs that came out of this game. Neto gets charged with the error, so that means the only run of the game was unearned. So you see, we'll still have a 0 ERA going into start 2, as he had 8 strikeouts, 6 hits, and a walk in total. Jose Hernandez only 2 strikeouts throughout his 2 1/3 innings of work. So that'll be what we're gonna end up things off here, man. Just one game here today. Just wanted to kind of show everything off. Next time, like I said, we will be jumping through a big portion of the season, so get prepared for a lot of scouting. But we're gonna start off the episode focusing on those minor league prospects. We got a lot of guys making their first starts here soon down at AA, so I think I want to take a look at all 3 of those starts. So we'll probably player lock all 3 of those games. We'll definitely probably player lock or finish out the rest of this athletics series by looking at more of Henry, of course, in his first ever MLB series. And we'll basically kind of get through a big portion of scouting. We won't get all the way through to like the draft or anything, but we're going to get through at least half of those weeks of scouting. So I think there's 13 or 14 weeks. We're going to try to aim to at least get 7 weeks knocked out. So that's almost 2 months worth of gameplay in the next episode. So if you guys are ready for it, leave a like, comment, subscribe for your boy. It's me, your boy SGG, aka Gene Smooth. And I'll catch you guys in the next Angels rebuild, man. I'm going for the day. Later.